A very good evening. Welcome to the News Minute. Finally, Vijay's TVK has managed to bring together a coalition of parties where he has crossed the halfway mark of 117. In fact, his numbers currently stand at 120. Joining me now is Shabir Ahmed, our Tamil Nadu Bureau Chief, and I'm Pooja Prasanna. And we have been keeping track of all the developments in the last few days. Shabir, every half hour things would change. Two parties that meet TVK worked really hard to get those letters of support. One was VCK, one was IUML. The letters came through, but tell us what happened in the last 24 to 48 hours.
See, things kept changing, Pooja, as you said, faster than Chennai climate, like how it changed from what it was yesterday, and today it was raining. So, like last evening, it was all. It looked like it was all. Vijay was all set because he was getting the required numbers. But last minute, I think there was some kind of hiccups. The VCK wanted some more clarity. The VCK wanted to know what exactly will be their role because there was some kind of discussion that was going on within the VCK circles because the opinion was divided. Some wanted to join the government, some wanted to support the government from outside. So there was some kind of discussions and deliberations that were going on, but they were very clear that they want to they want to support TVK. So I think that was one of the reasons why it dragged for quite some time throughout the day, and the VCK has now decided that they will be extending unconditional support. But having said that, at a later stage, there is a possibility that VCK may also join the government, but the nitty-gritties will have to be, ironed out. Still, there has to be some kind of discussion between the TVK leadership and the VCK leadership about the role that VCK will be playing in the new government. And the surprise element was the support that they got from IUML. You know what happened
Yes.
yesterday? The IUML had extended their support, and after that they withdrew. And again, there were talks that were held, and Congress Party seems to have played a major role in convincing IUML to extend their support for TVK. And finally, TVK has managed to get those numbers as well. So TVK currently stands at around 120. They have the support of 120 MLAs, and even as we speak, Vijay is right there at the Lok Bhavan, meeting the governor for the fourth time, and and TVK is now hopeful that the governor will invite him to form his government.
Yeah, absolutely. This is his fourth trip to the governor's office in just 3 days. It's almost become like a habit now. He goes, he comes back, but I think this time the governor will have to give some time for swearing in because there isn't any more ambiguity. There's no questions the governor can ask as far as numbers are concerned. Before we break down, what can be expected of the next couple of days, here's a quick reminder to all our viewers that the last 2 months we have been bringing you ground reports, all the election buzz from Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry, Bengal, and Assam as well. We've brought you people's voices. If you've liked our coverage, if you like how we do our journalism, then do become subscribers of the News Minute and News Lottery because, hey, our job doesn't end with government formation. Our job, in fact, begins now making sure every government that is formed in these states are held accountable. And Shabir, me, all our team on the ground, we will continue with that job. Also, big thank you. A lot of you did write to us in our previous live. We will not have a very long time today. We'll take a couple of questions if you can come up with them. But Shabir, I'm sure even as Vijay is, completely relieved, he'll be taking a breath of relief right now. But the challenge is not over because when will the swearing in happen? What are you hearing on that? And the floor test, because till the floor test is completed, it's still anybody's guess, although those letters of support are with TVK.
Well, that's right, Pooja. Once the floor test is something which is extremely crucial. It all depends on what the governor says, because the governor, like I said earlier, when Vijay went to meet him for the first time, he was not convinced with the numbers. Then he met the governor for the second time. Again, he had a problem with the numbers. Then again, Vijay had to meet him with the letter of support from CPI and CPIM. Again, the governor was like, Vijay only has the support of 116 MLAs, and now Vijay has the support of 120 MLAs. So there is no ambiguity. The governor should be satisfied by now, and the governor will have to formally invite Vijay to form the government, and after that there'll be a floor test. It depends on what is the duration that the governor is giving him. Like at least it'll be 7 days or 15 days, 2 weeks time. So if that
Hmm.
happens, then Vijay has another round of daunting task to keep his flock together to ensure that he passes the floor test. Because floor test is extremely dicey and extremely crucial, because every number matters there. Each and every MLA should be present, and if MLAs from the opposite camp are absent, then Vijay can be extremely happy, because the number of MLAs will come down on the floor. So the magic number, or the magic number will be lesser, because
Yeah.
I think that is something that we will have to wait and see. And what if Vijay's MLAs don't turn up on the day of the floor test? That is also something which needs to be
Yeah.
watched. So each and every MLA, his movements will be watched, where he's going, what he's doing, and whom he's talking to, and his
I
family
don't know
as
if
well.
MLAs will be allowed to go anywhere, Shabir. You're being very optimistic. Yes, I don't know if they'll be allowed to step out of wherever they'll be kept. I must share with you, and I'm sure you remember in Karnataka, on the day of floor test, we've seen legislators falling sick, getting themselves admitted in hospital with saline fix. We've seen someone develop, stomach issues suddenly. Somebody says, my family, somebody is taken ill. I had some urgent work in Bombay, and the next thing they're seen in a hotel in Bombay. So, I mean, the kind of scenes we see, all jokes apart, we say this in jest right now, but it's terrible how much for granted democracy is taken, isn't it? At the end of the day, and I'm not even talking about one party or the other. The way horse trading is a word we don't use lightly, but the way these negotiations happen, I think that's a good first lesson for Vijay in the art of politicking, real politicking, as they say. Campaigning perhaps seems like a breeze for him right now.
Well, that's right, Pooja. For Vijay, everything is new. The party has been the party lacks experience, right? So Vijay's political party, we don't know what they are capable of, what they are not capable of. But what we can say is they have somehow managed to pull it off. That is something that you have to give it to them, because you know it's a huge task to cobble up these numbers, and to convince parties like CPI, CPIM, VCK, IUML. I know how difficult it was, the entire process. In fact, we have been talking to all these leaders. Different leaders at different point in time were giving different answers. So the CPI and CPI and CPIM did not want to support Vijay initially, because they said that we don't have a moral obligation to support him, because we were not part of a pre-poll arrangement, right? So then there was change of circumstances. What forced these parties to make up their mind is two things. One, I believe, is a different combination was at play when the delay was happening. DMK and AIADMK coming together. I think that was one of the crucial reasons why parties like CPI and CPIM changed their mind, because they felt that BJP is doing some backdoor maneuverings, and that is something which is
Mm.
not good for the party, because they said that this is nothing but a subversion of democracy. So clearly, one can understand the manner in which these parties have been the BJP the TVK to ensure that everything happens as per their plan. It was a huge task. And background,
Yeah.
Vijay did not meet these leaders in person. After the extended support, Vijay met. But I know for sure there were a lot of people who were working, who were holding back channel talks on behalf of the TVK, and they managed to, help the TVK in cobbling up the numbers. And on the other side, as far as the VCK is concerned, VCK was really a tough nut to crack, because there was some kind of speculation that Tirumavalavan, VCK chief, wanted to become the deputy chief minister, so he was negotiating for that
Yeah.
post. But at the end of the day, VCK extended unconditional support because they were very clear. And for these political parties like the CPI, CPIM, VCK, IUML, they were all part of the DMK alliance. They were all part of the alliance, a secular alliance, right? For them, it was a very difficult decision to shift their support to TVK, because they never expected that
Yeah.
such scenario will occur in Tamil Nadu. So when VCK chief Tirumavalavan met the former chief minister of Tamil Nadu, MK Stalin, last evening, he told his close circle of party workers that he is going to meet MK Stalin because he wanted to convey to him personally that the decision that he has taken, he doesn't want to do something that the Congress did. Because you
Absolutely.
remember
In fact,
what happened with the
the former
Congress.
chief minister,
Yeah, what happened with the Congress was the
Shabir, I was
Congress
just
leaders
saying
never
that.
met. Yeah, they never met the chief minister, right? So they all just snapped ties just like that. And it's an alliance where Congress was part of it for at least from 2004. More than like so many years, they were all together. They had a common agenda. They were fighting the BJP. They were putting up a strong front at the center. So at this juncture, what the Congress did, the CPI, CPM, and the VCK did not want to do that. So I think most of the decisions were taken in consultation, or at least keeping the DMK in the loop, so that there are no hard feelings.
Absolutely. In fact, earlier today, as I was saying, former Chief Minister M.K. Stalin did put out a tweet where he thanked, allies like former allies, rather, like CPI, CPIM, VCK, DMDK, but he also had some scathing words for Congress. So I think that is a relationship that will be strained. Earlier in the day, I spoke to Congress leader Praveen Chakravarti. We will be putting out that interview right after this live conversation. There he insists that Mallikarjun Kharge was in touch with DMK leaders as the party president. He did inform them, but he said he's not privy to the kind of conversation that they had. You can catch that full interview. Let's just quickly take a couple of questions. Somebody is asking, Maddie is asking if the governor is staying back in Tamil Nadu. As of now, it does look like he's staying back because there was a bit of a scare there with Shabi for a minute. If you remember, I think Vijay's convoy went and they had to do a U-turn because there was no appointment given. And the governor, for some reason, decided that he wants to go back to Kerala for the weekend, and he had a flight scheduled for 7:10. But at this point, it looks like that has been cancelled. The governor will stay back in Tamil Nadu. And I was saying earlier that it is absolutely bizarre that the union government, in all its wisdom, decided to move out the earlier, governor, R.N. Ravi, who was a very controversial one. But they decided to do it just before the elections, and they did not appoint a full-time governor to Tamil Nadu. So Kerala governor is in charge. Adlekar is in charge of Tamil Nadu, and he's not a full-time governor. And here is so much drama playing out. So it's just bizarre. It doesn't matter as it's all being managed from Delhi, says Rational Human. No comments. It's the
You may be
governor.
right. You never know. A lot of things are managed by Delhi, is what the
Your
word that
words,
is
not
running around
mine.
the streets. Yes.
TVK should hire proper. Yeah, TVK should hire proper constitutional lawyers. If they had one, Vijay would have been sitting in the CM seat by now. I don't entirely know, but I think the fact that Congress is an ally must be helpful, because if you've seen, most of the times it has been Congress senior advocates, either Kapil Sibal or Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who've approached the Supreme Court against one governor or the other. So it would definitely help the TVK that Congress is an ally. With the left parties now seemingly holding the balance of power in formation of the new Tamil Nadu government, what direction will the state's industrial policy take? Shabir, you want to comment on this?
Yeah, I think industrial policy will be the same. I don't see there'll be major changes. Yes, CPI will have its say, and CPIM too, but I don't think there'll be any drastic changes, because if you meddle with industrial policy of the state, then definitely the state is going to lose out a lot. So as far as government is concerned, no matter if it is AIDMK or DMK, governance has always been, a continuity here in Tamil Nadu. So I think that tradition will follow, and I think the TVK will also make some kind of changes, but it's not going to be drastic changes, right? Like you can't, you can't completely change the entire policy of the state. So these are all set principles. There is a tradition. So I think we here in Tamil Nadu we have a very strong bureaucracy, because this is one of the concerns. Pooja, let me tell you that I've been talking to a lot of businessmen, industrialists who are very interested in these election results. And after the results were out, they all reached out to me and they were asking me, okay, who is going to be the finance minister? Who is going to be the industries minister in the new government? So what are we expecting? In fact, there is a lot of interest among foreign missions across, from India, different countries. Their companies have invested a lot in Tamil Nadu. So these are all their concerns. But I think at some point, Vijay will also understand that the policies cannot be changed overnight. I think some major decisions can be taken. Like, for example, what is he going to do about Parandur? Because Parandur airport is one issue that Vijay picked up as his campaign material, as his campaign issue. That was the first issue that he picked up. So what is he going to do about it? There seems to be a lot of pressure on him from the farmers' side and also from others. So I think you have a good set of bureaucrats. It all depends on the kind of bureaucrats that you are going to work with. So I think
No, I think at the end of the day, also, Shabir, a few enterprising ministers who can make sure that the investment continues to come to the state will definitely be helpful. And there are experienced bureaucrats who can guide even these first time ministers. And I think Congress will also have a role to play because they were, I mean, they're not novices as far as governance is concerned. I just also want to point that it might help that there is a Congress government in the neighboring state of Karnataka, and also there will be one in Kerala. So that might also help the three states come together as far as investments are concerned. Let's look at a couple of more questions. This is an interesting one. Benny asked, what if governor puts a blockade on based on the TTV's complaint of horse trading and forgery and all of that? I don't know if that will have a bearing on government formation or on at least the swearing in. But I mean, that would be a point of concern if there is if an FIR file saying that there was a forged letter given. This again from Maddie. Does the press have any plans to make Vijay speak to them? I don't know what we can do to make him speak, but Shabir, will Vijay speak to the press and will you get us the first interview? That's my question.
Okay, I can't say for sure, but yes, his team should realize that it's high time that he should interact with the media. He should start giving interviews. Maybe once he gets hold of something, some idea about what kind of governance he's going to offer, what are his plans, what are his ideas. I think it should happen, because during elections we were all trying for interviews. In fact, the word that we got from his team is that Vijay is preparing. So for him, giving interviews or talking about political matters and all that is very new. So I think it'll take some time for him to settle in, and I think after that we will see, if we can get some kind of interviews. But he needs to maintain a proper channel of communication, because that is something that's been lacking as far as the TVK is concerned. Even when they were, as a political party, uh, there is not even one person who could give us the right information, who could address the media. There are also, like, they have been reacting on issues, but you need to have a proper channel. So I think that is very important. And also
Yeah,
at the
it
same
can't
point
be a
of time,
one-way communication. It has to
yeah.
be a dialogue where he sits down
And
with
now,
somebody and gives an interview.
and now when they are in government, there is always, as far as the government is concerned, you have the DIPR, Department of Information and Public Relations. Then we have spokespersons for Tamil Nadu. So I think they should allow these spokespersons to speak and react and talk about what's happening in their government. Like, see, at the end of the day, if you maintain transparency and if there is a collective accountability, I think that will solve a lot of problems. Transparency is something that is required. So let's wait and see how Vijay plans to do that.
Absolutely. Accountability to transparency. In fact, some of the people that we are speaking to said that even with the allies, potential allies like CPI, CPM, of course, Vijay did meet them after the extended support, like I said, Shabir, but the negotiations were being done by other people in the party, Anand and
But I think
Adhavarjan
he was
and
in
others.
loop.
So
He
it
was in
seems
loop.
like he was in the loop, but I'm saying let's not forget the fact that this is a mandate for which I don't think it was the elections were not fought on the faces of either Adhavarjan or Anand or anybody else in Gotian. So I think Vijay will have to now come and as much as credit is due to him, accountability also will have to be taken by him. Will DMK now take a soft approach on BJP from now on? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see how they function in Parliament, but we know that they will not take a soft approach on Congress. That is something we can say for sure. Do you
Also,
think 3
Pooja,
lakh crore?
one more thing. Here, the speculation that DMK, ADMK are coming together, and it's a plan that has been scripted by the BJP. I think that has, created some sort of an impact, some sort of doubt among people. I think the DMK will have to clear that. Otherwise, it's a question of their credibility, right? So far, you have been opposing the BJP and all of it, and suddenly there is a plan where DMK and AIDMK will come together to form the government, and what happens to your anti-BJP plank is a question. So I think DMK will have to showcase that they are going to oppose the BJP more than ever, like how they did in the past as an
No, I think
opposition party.
they're not even acknowledging that there were such talks, at least not on record. But yes, they will have to come and clear the air because this kind of suspicion lingering is also a huge hit for the
Not
credibility. That is something that we cannot deny. Do you think the 3 lakh crore welfare expenditure will pass through the House given the numbers? I don't know about the House, but I think it is going to be a huge hit. You will need people figuring out where this money comes from because, like I said, in that interview with Praveen Chakravarti, I also posed this question because he was one of the people who had said that Tamil Nadu's debt is higher than Uttar Pradesh, but it was well within the 3% prescribed ratio. But now with more welfare schemes announced, how will that fiscal prudence be managed will be a big task. And of course, bureaucrats are there to kind of guide the government machinery through it, but there will also have to be some thinking on part of the politicians. I'm pretty much sure that the BJP would become the biggest loser in the entire episode. I have no comments on that. They did win one seat, but yeah, this is, I'm sure, 100% not how they would have scripted this Tamil Nadu story. I would have preferred VCK be part of the government, maybe down the line, like you said, but it seems very risky when they can up and leave with no stakes responsibility during the next 5 years. That's an interesting perspective. Shabir, go ahead.
power is a binding factor. So once they are in power, once they are part of a government, they would want to stay longer. And for political parties like the CPI or CPIM, they are not going to get into, they are not seeking a chair in the Council of Ministers. But for VCK, if given an opportunity, VCK can demonstrate what they can do, their ideas, because now there is a chance that they can play a larger role in the government. So I think VCK should look for an opportunity where they can bargain hard and where they can get a chair in the Council of Ministers, like at least get into the government, because there are a lot of things, they can do it from a very different perspective, right? VCK brings a different kind of politics like a different kind of dynamics into the entire system. So I think VCK will have to think about it. And now they have said that it's going to be unconditional. But I think going forward, there should be some kind of change in the way they think. There's one question which was interesting. Santosh
But
was
Shabir,
asking.
before that, I was just smiling at unconditional that you said. As much as all their letters of support does say unconditional, both of us know there is no such thing in politics. There are conditions always applied. It's just that it will not be communicated. But I hope those conditions are for the benefit of people rather than their own party. Of course, the party needs to also benefit because they need to survive. But I hope that they will speak up for the people if the Vijay government, kind of deviates from anything. That's what they do. Yeah, you say.
So there's one interesting question. What about the future of India bloc? Great. I don't know. if India alliance, like as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, the Congress leaders have started talking, saying that there's no India alliance in Tamil Nadu, which is led by the DMK. The new India alliance is led by the TVK or with the TVK. So this is the new India alliance, and that is how it's being sold, or that is how it's being conceptualized. So we will have to wait and see what happens at the national level. And remember the statement that was made by CPIM Secretary, State Secretary Shanmugam, where he said that yes, we are supporting Vijay. We have just extended our support, but our politics will always be different. Like we will work with the DMK as well in terms of their anti BJP agenda, because still DMK is considered as a party which is secular. Unless they decide to go with the BJP explicitly, they forge an alliance. So that is going to be something different. But as of now, I think for these political parties, it is going to be very different, very difficult to navigate. So maybe they'll be extending their support to the government, but their politics will always be out on the streets, and DMK will also be a part of it, is what I feel.
But also Congress leaders are now saying, how is this different from what we're doing in Kerala or West Bengal, where parties that are part of the India bloc, like CPIM, CPI, and Congress, find themselves on the opposite side of the political spectrum. The problem here is this: those are predetermined, pre-agreed upon, equations where they decide to not come together as a pre-poll alliance. But here it was part of a pre-poll alliance, and now I really do not think that, given the kind of animosity we've seen now between Congress and DMK, where even Kanimoli has said that they don't want to sit together in Parliament, far from doing business together. I think it will be a tall order. I don't know if India Alliance, the way it was, would ever exist. What if the governor is just Amit Shah underneath our latest body? We were joking about how Kamal Hassan could very well dress himself up as the governor and swear Vijay. And this is, I think, taking it a step forward. Yes, interviews. Yes, interviews is what we say too. Jayalalitha successfully avoided media for 10 years. Modi has been avoiding for 20 years now. Vijay will go their way, I think. I think Jayalalitha did give interviews and press conferences. I don't think it'll be fair to put her in the same scheme of things as Modi. I sincerely hope Vijay will not go Modi way, or he won't go in the way that he's so far gone, which is have a one-way communication and not give interviews. BJP and DMK are ideological rivals. There's no way it will be possible. I guess this is of them coming together. What would be the policy of this government on corruption? So far, they've been saying that one of their main agendas is to give a corruption-free governance, and we hope they live up to that. Do you think DMK?
Pooja,
Go ahead,
just
Shabi.
to add a point, Vijay has been talking to his team, and he says that he wants three things. One is integrity and efficiency and corruption-free government. This is something that he wants to, present. So I think like it all depends on the kind of officers that you select, the kind of officers that you have, you work with, because remember, officers play a larger role in governing a state. And as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, we have a very strong bureaucracy here. Officers are often sidelined by political parties. They're being branded like, okay, these set of officers are DMK officers, these set of officers are pro ADMK officers. I think that kind of that kind of branding, often what it does is uh, officers who have some sort of experience, officers who have some sort of ideas, they are often sidelined. So I think Vijay should talk to some officers, some senior officers in the bureaucracy, and he should find right people and put them in the right positions. So I think things will work out for him if he does that. Yeah.
Actually, political will, I think, is the first step as far as
Yeah, exactly.
either being corrupt or ensuring there's less corruption. And more often than not, that's what we've seen. Inside, what happens is the trickle down effect is what we've seen. Uh, Do you think DMK keeping the option open for possible ADMK alliances to maintain political stability in this tenure, or is this a shift in Dravidian policy? See, I think everybody looks at it from how they want to look at it, from the perspective that helps them the most, because DMK supporters have been saying that ADMK's problem was with Karunanidhi. He is no longer alive. The party was formed in protest to Karunanidhi, so now there is no problem with the two parties coming together. So the point I'm making is
Oh, yeah.
politics is a lot about perspective too. So
No,
yeah,
that's the point that TTV Dinagaran made. Politics is all about Karnanidhi and
exactly. So
anti-Karnanidhi. Now there is no Karnanidhi. Now there is no Jayalalitha. That animosity is gone. So now AIDMK and DMK can come together. I think that was a very different thought. And I was like looking at him like, is this real? Is he trying to tell me something that no Dravidian leader would say, or no AIADMK leader would say in the past? Yeah. Hmm.
for whatever it's worth, he's not an AIADMK leader as of today. But the logic is, if that was the case, why didn't the parties merge after 2017? Because
Exactly.
Karunanidhi did pass away in 2017. So, like I said, it's just about justifying what your political position is. Is Congress going hard on the 2029 Lok Sabha elections with Vijay in Tamil Nadu and in Kerala? So I think Kerala did vote for Congress even when CPIM was in power at the state level. As far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, even in the past, their numbers were for the alliance, because DMK plus Congress did bring in all the numbers. So I don't know if those numbers change, if there will be if this will bolster Congress's number. But I think I just want to say that 2029 is a lifetime away. In politics, 3 years, you have no idea what will happen. So let's not jump the gun. Were there
One
plans
week,
to sabotage?
just to give you an example, in 1 week, what has happened? In the past 1 week, several things have changed. The India alliance has changed. Parties like CPI, CPM are on the other side of the fence. Parties like VCK have taken a very different position from what they were. Parties that were like, okay, we will not leave DMK. We are still a
Yes.
part of DMK alliance, IUML. They have taken a very different position. So it's all about like things will change in politics rapidly. Yeah.
Absolutely. If we assume this is the alliance for 2029 parliamentary elections, then DMK, ADMK, BJP will be lumped into one group. Lol. Yes, again, perspective, and 29 is far away, so we're not going to get into that. Do you think TVK will be corruption free, given that they have at least 40 MLAs with serious crimes, and Adhav Arjuna being the son-in-law of Santiago Martin, who was one of the biggest electoral bond donors? Yes, I think that is a serious concern. There are over 100 MLAs who are, candidates who had criminal charges, but over 40 of them with serious charges. And this does not include rioting or unlawful assembly, which is common in politics if you're there for a protest. So this will be a problem. This will be something that people will keep a close tab on. Will the contractor lobby somehow get their way inside, the government? These are concerns that people will have. Not a TVK fan, but I welcome them as a strong opposing force against DMK. Can't trust ADMK anymore. Many people do feel the same way. What's your take on VCK supporting TVK government from the outside? Shabhi, take this one.
See, I feel that it's a good move. One, what CPI, CPM, IUML, and VCK have done is they have essentially closed the door for BJP, because the slightest opportunity BJP gets, it will try to maneuver and it will try to create some sort of confusion. We have seen this happening in several other states. I think stability is something which is very important. And second, having a secular government in Tamil Nadu is something that these parties have been talking about throughout, and that's their political agenda. So I think that way VCK supporting this government from outside is good, but I would want VCK to be a part of this government, because VCK leader Tirumavalavan, he is a doctorate. Tirumavalavan knows about administration. He has been a government servant earlier, so he has a lot of experience. So if Tirumavalavan joins this government, then probably he'll try to bring in some more ideas. He can like trying to change the dynamics in which the government thinks. So thinking is very important, right? And you need someone who is ideologically very strong right next to Vijay, So that makes a lot of difference. And how did Karnanidhi manage to survive? How did Jayalalitha manage to survive? Yes, they had their thinking of their own, but at the same point of time, they had thinking heads around them. So they were the ones who were like shaping the narrative, shaping the politics, shaping the policy, and everything. So I think it matters to have people like Tirumavalavan as part of the government, which will make a huge difference.
Okay, I
So
think we're
you
going to
have
wrap up this live conversation, but with two updates. One is that even as we speak, Vijay has met the governor. We don't know yet the date of swearing in. As and when we know, we will update you on that. The second bit of update I want to give all of you is that today is Shabir Ahmed's birthday. So you can wish him happy birthday. I thought I'll embarrass you right at the end, Shabir, not at the very beginning. As a gift to Shabir, if you like his journalism, if you appreciate what he's been doing, you can give him a gift by becoming subscribers of the News Minute and News Laundry. The link is in the description below. I will not leave any chance to plug a subscription because, on a very serious note, that's the only way all of us can go on the ground and bring you live updates, can bring you all the developments, and also bring you people's voices. And that's what has kept us going for the last as many months. We want to do more stories. We want to hit the ground more often. We have a team of reporters in Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Telangana, and of course, News Laundry partners do go to all the northern states and western states too. So do power our journalism. Give Shabir a birthday gift and take up a subscription. Shabir,
Thank you
your
so much.
words to
Yes.
wrap this up.
Yes, you should. Because you must have watched our election coverage. Throughout the election coverage, we have been very consistent in saying what we saw on the ground. What are the issues? Like if you look at what other channels were reporting, our coverage has been very different. We were talking about police excesses. We were talking about custodial deaths. We were talking about crime against atrocities against Dalits. We were talking about welfare schemes. We were talking about policy. We were talking about people's issues. I think that is something that the media should be doing, and that should be the focus during the elections, not like which leader is talking to which leader, who is going with who, and what are the kind of alliances that may come up post elections or after elections or before elections, all that. So I think if you have followed our coverage, people will know I have been like getting a lot of messages regarding my election coverage. So a lot of people have watched us. So if you want us to continue our work on my birthday, I request you all to support News Minute and support independent journalism. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And
Thank you
thanks
for
for
joining
everyone
us.
who's watching me. Yeah.